We're going to do challenging FOIL questions now. So these are ones that they're just more challenging. So I think we were on, I'm going to start off at I because that's where we left off on the last one. And I is not going to be a real one. It's going to be kind of more of a thought one. So if we have 2 times 3 times 4, how do we figure that out? And it turns out you don't really multiply 3 things at once. What we do is we generally either multiply the first 2 and then multiply it by the answer, which gives 24. Or maybe we multiply these 2, so we could get 2 times 12, which is 24. Or, it's not as pretty, but you could actually even multiply the outside ones first, and 8 times 3, which once again is 24. And so my point from this is that if you have 3 things multiplied by each other, the way you do it is you multiply 2 of the things first, and then you multiply that answer by the one that's left over. So, let's say I have 2 times 3x plus 2 times 4x plus 5. So 2 times 3x plus 2 times 4x plus 5. So here we have something times something times something. And as I said, we're going to multiply 2 of those things and then multiply the answer by the third thing. And there's kind of 2 ways to do it. So I'm going to call the first one method 1. It's a clever name I made up all by myself. So what we do for method number 1 is we're going to multiply the first 2 things. So this would be kind of like multiplying the 2 by the 3 first. And it would be tempting to get rid of the bracket, but we can't do that because we still have to multiply this bracket by that bracket over there. So we're multiplying the 2 into the bracket. So that's going to become 2 times 3 is 6x, 2 times 2 is 4, times 4x plus 5. That didn't change at all. Then we're going to do the binomial expansion. 6 times 4 is 24x. 6 times 5, x times x, that should actually be 24x squared. I have to be careful about that. 6x times 5 is 30x. 4 times 4x is 16x. And 4 times 5 is 20. And then I'm going to add up the like terms, and I'm going to get 24x squared. These are the like terms, plus 46x plus 20. And that's the answer. Now, we could have done method 2. Also a name I created for by myself from the depths of my creative imagination. I just rewrote the question. What we're going to do here, you don't have to do this, but I'm going to do it just to show it. I'm going to kind of put a square bracket over here. So what we're going to do, we're going to kind of do it like this way, where we multiply the last 2 first and then multiply it by the one in front. So I'm putting a bracket there to show that I'm going to multiply these guys first. So the 2 stays. My 2 bracket is over there. And I'm going to do my foiling stuff. Foil, 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 foil. So 3x times 4x is going to be 12x squared. 3x times 5 is 15x. 2 times 4 is 8x. And 2 times 5 is 10. And all this is inside the teal bracket. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the 2 by everything inside that bracket. So now the 2 actually multiplies by each term in the bracket. And so we're going to get 2 times 12 is 24x squared. 2 times 15 is 30x. And if you're not sure, you could always put these in your calculator. 2 times 8 is 16x. And 2 times 10 is 20. And then what we're going to do is we're going to collect the like terms. The like terms are, of course, these guys over here because they both have an x with no exponent. And we're going to get 24x squared. 30 plus 16 is 46x plus 20. And we've done the example. And we got the same answer both ways. It's a good sign. And so either way works. What letter was that? That was J. So we're going to call this one K. Minus 4x plus 7 times... So this may not look like it, but there are three things here. There's a minus, and that bracket, and that bracket. And so once again, you could use either technique that you want. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the negative into the first bracket. Remember, keeping that bracket in a bracket because we have to multiply the two brackets by each other. So multiply the negative in, we're going to get minus 4x minus 7. And then, now remember, we're multiplying these two together. So this doesn't go into both brackets. It only goes into the first bracket. Not both brackets, only the first bracket. Then we're going to do our usual expandy thingy here. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8x times x is x squared. Negative 4x times negative 1. It's a negative times a negative. So that's going to make it positive. Negative 7 times 2 is minus 14x. And negative 7 times negative 1 is plus 7. These are the like terms over here. So that's going to be negative 8x squared. 4 minus 14. That might be calculator level type calculations. Negative 10. It's negative 10x plus 7. And that's the answer to K. We will do one more challenging one, I think. This one's actually pretty tough. Honestly, normally I would only give this to an academic class. So probably there's no need to do this unless you are planning on going to mixed math next year. If you're going to college, you probably don't have to do this one. So what we're going to do here, we're going to deal with this first. This is kind of a BidMath thing. We have something minus something. That's a multiplication. We're going to deal with the multiplication first. So it's going to be 13x minus my teal square brackets. And we're going to have to do the expandy thingy. 4 times 5 is 20x squared, because it's x times x. Plus 4x minus 10x minus 2. I went through that a bit quickly, but it's correct. Now there's a negative in front of the bracket. As you may or may not recall, when you have a negative in front of a bracket, what it does is the negative changes the sign of everything inside the bracket. It doesn't change the 13 at all, just that. So the minus, that becomes minus 20x squared. And a negative times a 4 is minus 4x. And a negative times a negative 10 is plus 10x. And a negative times a negative 2 is plus 2. And then we have to collect like terms. So what we're going to do is we're going to put things in order first. And when we move things around, remember that it drags the sign in front of it. So the negative goes with the 20. The negative goes with the 4. The positive goes with the 10. The positive goes with the 2. And the kind of invisible positive goes with that 13. So the minus 20, then I'm going to move the positive 13x to there, the minus 4x, the plus 10x, the plus 2. And I put those three together because these three are like terms. They all have a single x. So this becomes minus 20x squared, 13 minus 4 plus 10, 13 minus 4 plus 10 is 19. Plus 19x plus 2. And that is the answer to that one. We'll stop there.